Rio is a metropolis. It is complex, massive in territory, and so diverse that the municipal government has divided the area into 4 zones. The South Zone is the most famous of zones. It's chic, known for its beaches like Copacabana or Ipanema. Then there's the Center Zone. It is the oldest part of the city. Its territory is snugged in between the North and South Zone. The North Zone developed in the 20th century in line with the industrial development that was going on in the city at the time. The 4th zone is the West Zone. It is the most recently developed area and most drastically displays the inequalities of the city, with rich and new neighborhoods like Baja bordering the famous favela known as Cidade de Deus. Rio has a unique history. Its neighborhoods have been marked by extreme and drastic changes. From the colonial era to the industrial times to today, where tourist dollars influence all city and economic decisions. To further understand this transition, a suburbio known as Catumbi, found in the Center Zone, led us to our story. Once a bastion of imperial housing and colonial farms, this neighborhood has become one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Rio. A neighborhood considered middle class to some, while poor to others. But how could such a neighborhood with all its imperial wealth and prosperity become what it is today? Catumbi is one of the most ancient suburbios of Rio de Janeiro. It rests on a hill and valley and in the beginning served as an important production site for sugarcane, up and until the 19th century. After the 1900s, the region became an official neighborhood with elegant mansions for the rich and upper class as a part of the Brazilian imperial society. It is common even today to see the old tiles that were imported from Portugal during the period on the now run-down mansions of yesterday.
Algumas décadas atrás, antes de eu nascer, eu pesquisei sobre o meu bairro, sobre o Catumbi. Era bairro de chácara, né? Tinha uma fábrica de açúcar aqui no Catumbi. Não era vou falar para vocês, bairro populoso, tá entendendo? Ele foi ganhando moradias pelas outras pessoas que vieram de outros estados, como o pessoal de Minas, o pessoal do Nordeste.
Sim.
Tá entendendo? Aí foram chegando.
Então há muitas culturas aqui que chegaram aqui nesse bar e é a mistura das culturas que fizeram
o bairro se desenvolver.
Sim, ok. Entendo.
Entering into the 20th century, the rapid industrialization and urbanization of Rio led to the construction of the Santa Barbara Tunnel in the 1960s, which allowed many to move into Catumbi to transform the neighborhood into a popular neighborhood, a part of the now very much growing city. It's at this point Catumbi began to become a neighborhood of poor and middle classes.
Então, é como o bairro Catumbi parece mais de classe média, mais ou menos?
Não.
Não?
É classe baixa.
E você tem filhos?
Não, graças a Deus ainda não.
Por que graças a Deus?
Não. A vida tá difícil, o país está em crise.
Claro.
Tá entendendo? Eu tenho que estudar, voltar a estudar novamente, arrumar um emprego e viajar para a França. Meu sonho é construir minha família na França.
Today, Catumbi is divided into 3 zones along 3 walls. The demarcations for each zone are clearly divided by the 3 walls of Catumbi. The first wall, recently built, is a gate that blocks road traffic. It is found on Rua Emilia Guimarães. Run-down graffiti-covered homes lead to the first wall, where the pedestrian gate is always open. If you walk in, you find beautiful houses and nice cars. This is clearly the Catumbi of the middle class.
Então, esse portão só foi construído justamente por causa da violência. Né? Não era por causa de assalto nem nada disso, porque não tinha esse negócio de assalto. Vou ter agora, recentemente. Mas foi porque os meninos, né, que a gente fala que são os bandidos, no caso, ficavam tirando plantão aqui na chácara, ali perto do casarão Barão.
E atirava?
A gente diz tirando plantão, visualizando as coisas, entendeu?
Tá bom.
Então, quando vinha a operação, que era a polícia, essas coisas assim, não posso nem falar isso muito alto, meu Deus. Então, eles vinham, faziam esse troca de tiro aqui no meio da rua.
Ah, ok.
Teve
pra
no
evitar o tráfico, né, de drogas.
De
que
drogas,
ficava ali,
isso.
Que eles
Tinha muito
vendiam,
tráfico
aí
de
criou esse
drogas
portão aqui, justamente para ter essa divisão. Aí eles já chamavam a chácara 1 e chácara 2. Chácara 1 é aqui embaixo, chácara 2 é lá em cima. Depois
Isso.
ali na casa do Barão, no hostel.
Então,
Aí ficou dessa forma. A Catumbi, se você ver, elas são divididas em 3 partes. Catumbi 1, 2, 3.
isso, 3 muros. 3
Isso.
muros. Tá bom.
São Catumbi 1, 2, 3. Porque a Catumbi 1 é aqui embaixo, Catumbi 2 aqui, e o Catumbi 3 que é depois do ponto final das Catumbi.
In Catumbi 1, there are middle class homes, nice places to eat, grocery shops, banks, and a drugstore.
Sim, Catumbi é tranquilo, graças a Deus. Agora que veio crescendo de um tempo pra cá, tem comércio, tem academia, tem restaurante. Antigamente não tinha isso.
In Catumbi 2 and 3, you find the favela, São Carlos, somehow officially unrecognized for its existence and instead included into the neighborhood of Catumbi.
Eu lembro, porque quando tem evento na igreja, falam, cadê o pessoal aí do Catumbi 3? Eu ficava pensando, por que Catumbi 3? Eu falava assim, gente, por que o Catumbi é dividido? Aí agora a gente sabe mais ou menos.
Sabe, é tipo os níveis do perigo.
Os níveis de perigo. Porque aqui é o Catumbi 1, é a zona sul do Catumbi. Aí é bom. Aí vai na chácara com o Catumbi 2, já é mais ou menos. O Catumbi 3, misericórdia, sai correndo, que é bala perdida pra tudo que é lado. Me feio,
Fecha todo dia.
Gente, ali o Catumbi 3 é só Jesus na causa. Nem o Pepe vai.
Nem o bebê.
Nem o Pepe vai, porque é perigoso.
É só aí que subir depois da casa do Barão, é isso?
Isso,
The second wall is ancient and relates back to imperial times. You have to walk past under a set of narrow stone steps to ascend to the other side to arrive at Catumbi 2. Catumbi 2 is a neutral zone. It is unique because a large yellow house that once belonged to a baron sits atop the now run-down square. The Casa de Barão.
Okay, well, this place here, which you're seeing at the moment, used to be owned by the Baron Shishoro, who was one of the best friends of the Emperor, and he also opposed him in various times as well. So Emperor Don Pedro II used to come in here quite a lot. This was his country house. Where the hell is? I think his townhouse was Botafogo or somewhere like that. I'm not sure. Anyway, he was the owner of here for a long time. 60, 70 years or something, a long time.
This was all vegetation back then?
Yeah, I mean, all this place here, they used to have some steps that used to be all with lights and things like that. They had, up until about 10 years ago, they had an eagle, a big statue of an eagle, which the guys just flattened and all the rest of it. Once he'd had it, he got sold and it was made into a leper hospital. So it was a leper hospital for a little while. And then, of course, you had came in the 1950s, 1960s, which is when everybody came in from the country, and the favelas came in, and the favela occupied it all.
The wall encapsulates the old mansion. Walk through the left gate and you enter Traficante territory, Catumbi 3. Pass under the gate on the right and you will be under the stare of the police who control the other side. Here, you can feel the tension in the air.
I came here and I bought it a little bit by mistake, but I bought it. And then I decided to make it into a hostel for the World Cup. which was in 2014. And these guys here told me, look, you know, if you keep on doing this, you're going to probably get killed, you know, because the villa guys don't really like gringos coming in here and so on and so forth. I said, who said that? And he said, well, the guys up the top of the hill, you know, they own this place. And I said, oh, well, where do they all hang out? So I went up the top of the hill and I said, look, I'm the gringo that's building the place down in the chakra. It's a chakra, a mansion, it's called a chakra. And I'm the one that's doing the building, and they say you're wanting to kill me, you see. So, well, here I am. So, you know, bury me nice and deep and all the rest of it. However, just before you do, if I don't mind if I have a little word about what might happen to you. No, gringo, you go ahead, what do you want to say? I said, well, the point is, if you murder a gringo that's putting up a hostel for the World Cup, it might not go down well with the international press. In fact, as my mum...
Vinicius, Natalia, and William all live within 500 meters of each other on the same street in Catumbi. Vinicius lives outside the middle-class gate. His house is covered in graffiti, and to him, this poor neighborhood is plagued with violence. But despite this, he loves the people around him.
As coisas mais positivas do bairro que eu gosto são das pessoas, entendendo? Essa união que nós temos, entendendo? Quando acontece alguma coisa aqui no bairro, um sempre tenta ajudar o outro, não é aquela coisa individualista, cada um seu, cada um não. Graças a Deus, aqui no bairro Catumbi, né, temos pouquinho disso.
Natalia lives the middle-class life. She's an entrepreneur, a mother, and is thriving. To her, Catumbi is a great place, but it is also plagued by violence.
Quando tem operação assim, essa semana passada aqui no Catumbi teve, eu nem sabia, eu tava dentro de casa e não ouvi. Então eu não sabia, teve a operação, os rapazes chegaram, acho que era 5 e pouca da manhã que foi que me falaram. E aí teve a troca de tiroteio. Foram 3 pessoas que morreram, sendo uma criança.
Uma criança?
Uma bala perdida, foi aqui dentro da comunidade.
O que sai mais prejudicado são as pessoas que estudam ali em frente ao mercado Presunic, porque tem um colégio ali e quando tem operação não tem aula à noite, de manhã e nem à tarde. Então, ou seja, muitos estudantes ficam sem estudar.
É por isso que eles falam que o cumprido é um pouco também.
A polícia faz a coordenação com a escola para dizer fechar?
Não,
eles não avisam, eles iniciam.
Eles iniciam sem avisar os alunos?
Exatamente.
William is an Englishman by birth, Brazilian by adoption. And his authority over Catumbi, too, allows it to act as a neutral ground between police and traficantes. Whether the power provided by his foreign influence and money is good or bad, this area is clearly safer than Catumbi 3. Natalia's brother Nilton said education was the key to doing better in his community. Vinicius spoke about the need to having a dignified life, and the key to that life is education. At the same time, the public university in the area has shut down due to lack of funds, and a shopping center has come in its place. The city government tried to demolish the local Catholic church to build a metro line, and only rescinded the idea after community protest. Catumbi is clearly a neighborhood filled with diverse and spirited people who are all seeking the way to thrive in life. Some thrive despite the violence. Others, like Vinicius, seek their way out. Those who do thrive clearly do with little government help. Vinicius, Nilton, and Natalia all have some form of college education, and they all live in Catumbi 1. If Catumbi is to improve, it seems the path is clear. Safer streets and better education initiatives. Because everyone deserves the opportunity to realize their life.